A lot of the front pages are, of course, covering the Conservative manifesto launch yesterday. They're having a bit of a tricky election, the Conservatives, aren't they? Here's the Telegraph. Sunak promises £17 billion in tax cuts. People have pointed out that even with the plans, the tax burden still rises in the next Parliament, even with those Conservative plans. Daily Express, Tory ambition to deport 100,000 illegal migrants. So he had promised Sunak a relentless, continual process of permanently removing illegal migrants to Rwanda. And then we've got the Times here. A vote for reform puts Labour into number 10. That's a key message for the Conservatives, and we'll get onto that in our first debate today. The thing that's been picked up, though, most is a clip that's been released ahead of an ITV interview with the Prime Minister, which airs tonight. Now, this is an important interview because this is the one that Sunak left the D-Day commemorations early for. Have a look.
Prime Minister.
Gosh, hello.
Good to see you.
Very nice to see you. Hey, sorry to
I'm
have
well,
kept
thanks
you.
No, not at all. I know you've been in Normandy.
Yeah, it all just ran over. It was incredible, but it just ran over everything.
I'm sure it was
so apologies for keeping you.
No, not at all. I'm sure it was a powerful trip. I mean, so pertinent as well this year, considering what's happened in Ukraine.
Yeah, which I haven't seen President Biden's remarks, but I think that's kind of the echo, I think, what he said.
Did you get to meet any of the veterans, or were you...
Oh, no,
did you just have to do the ceremonial?
Lots, over yesterday and today. Yeah, I've already spoke to almost everyone that was there.
OK, that could have been disastrous, Lynn. Because he doesn't know he's being... I guess he hasn't clocked he's being taped. Thank goodness he didn't roll his eyes there.
Yeah, I still think it's really damaging for him to even say, it ran over, like it's not that important, like it was an inconvenience. Yeah. And we know the importance of the commemorations for D-Day, and he does seem really out of touch with how important it is to Britain. And I think that's damaging.
He didn't... It's interesting because we're watching this now and we know that after that interview, which was recorded, it blew up into such an enormous, probably the defining moment of the election. So we're watching it knowing what he doesn't know. And it's kind of this is the interview he had to rush back for, which goes out a week later.
Yeah, well, I didn't understand.
Of it.
Yeah, I mean, very odd to do a manifesto launch interview with the Prime Minister a week early. This is strange.
The election changes, the news changes so quickly, day by day. So why did ITV want to record it a week earlier?
They were offered the date, by the way. So apparently when they were offered the date, they thought that's odd because that's D-Day. Yeah. And you wouldn't say we can't do it, but...
Yeah, some of the commentary that's in support of him, the Conservative commentary is, he wanted to rush back to concentrate on the campaign. Now, in my mind, I thought that was meeting people where they're at, door knocking, things that are grassroots levels. And it was just an interview.
You think Nigel Farage is right to say Rishi Sunak doesn't get our culture?
See, this is a difficult one. The thing is, I can see where Nigel Farage is coming from. And I know a lot of people want to say that this is race motivated. But I have to put my hands up here. There are many people that love this country from ethnic minority backgrounds. However, I don't think that a lot of them have the same attachment to D-Day commemorations. Now, whether you want to say that's good or bad, it's the reality. However, where Rishi Sunak is the leader of Britain, it's unacceptable.
So he gets asked in this interview about being richer than the king as well.
When you are wealthier than the king, what do you do day to day to make sure you're still in touch with the kind of struggles ordinary people face? Have you ever gone without something?
Right.
Can you give me an example?
All sorts of things. Like lots of people, there'll be all sorts of things that I would have wanted as a kid that I couldn't have, right? Famously, Sky TV. Okay. So that was something that we never had growing up, actually. But it was lots of things. But again, that's my experience is obviously going to be what my experience was, what is more important in my values and how I was raised. And I was raised in a household where hard work was really important.
When you're in the situation he's in, and we saw this with John Major in '97, everything goes wrong. So the headlines today are, Sunak, I've had a hard life because I didn't have Sky TV, which again looks like a really big gaffe.
I mean, come on, let's get the violins out.
Should he not say that, though? I mean, it's you could see the way he said it.
It's hard, isn't it? Because his wife is one of the richest women in the world and, worth £700 million.
All money made by her dad, by the way.
Exactly, but it's still her money, and he shares it. He's married to her. So, yeah, I mean, he's incredibly rich, and he can't feel what it's like to not be able to, you know, he can use private health, private education. He can't, if he wants a doctor, he doesn't have to ring up and be 27th in the queue and not see a doctor for weeks. You know, he doesn't have to worry about whether he can pay his energy bills or his food bills, like millions of people in this
country.
country.
That's relevant, Lynn?
I think we're being really unfair to him, if I'm honest with you. I think this whole relatability, he's wealthy, the majority of the MPs are not short of a few bob. If we look at Keir Starmer, he's still worth 7 million, which most of us aren't. However, I'm disappointed in his approach. He needs to embrace immigration aspiration. Yeah, embrace it and say, do you know what? I may not have a similar experience to many people. However, my parents, when they first got here, they really struggled. We faced racism. We faced so many challenges, and we still managed to claw our way out of it.
What about you go even further than that? Trump was asked, you know, you didn't pay taxes for 10 years. Why not? And he said, because I'm smart. Why doesn't Sunak just say, I'm rich because I'm smart?
His approach, I think, he needs to embrace it more and show the realness of the challenges his family may have faced. But the Sky News thing, at that age, and I think he's a few years older than me, most of us didn't have Sky. It's not so, like you said, get the violins out.
And you say smart. I mean, smart move. What very clever to marry a woman worth 700 million.
No, he made about 100 million himself. I mean, he has made money, hedge funds and all that. So he's not
but let's not discourage this. Let's not discourage, you know, him making something of himself.
On the back of the rest of us.
What do you mean? What, in banking?
Well, I know. The company he worked for were responsible partly for the financial crash.
Okay.
You know, sorry.
Well, they made money out of it. I don't know whether
he got a reward.
So should we not be aspirational?
Let's hold that thought.